So vaccines, you all know them, you all love them. You know that they help you develop antibodies against certain diseases caused by parasites, bacteria, viruses. But there are some people that don't believe that. They believe that some vaccines are designed to control the population, to mess with our minds, and make us slaves. Which I don't think there's any evidence for, but we're gonna be looking at someone today who thinks there is evidence. So let's get into that. So I just wanted to pop in here real quick. I just got done filming and editing this whole video to find out I've been pronouncing her name wrong this whole damn time. So you're just gonna have to deal with it. It's pronounced Carrie Madej. I'm just a fucking idiot, apparently. I'm so sorry. You guys are just gonna have to deal with that. Oh my god. I feel terrible. Alright, so by the way, sorry if like the lighting changed. One of the bulbs in my lamp went out. So it's gonna be fun. But this is Dr. Carrie Madej here, and she's the one I was talking about for how she believes that the vaccines, that specifically the COVID vaccine, is designed to control and manipulate the population. So first, let's get into who she is as a person. So, Miss Madej has a doctorate in osteopathic medicine from Kansas City University. And if you don't know what that means, basically, she's a medical professional who can diagnose things, she can prescribe medicine, but she has a specialty in holistic medicines like acupuncture and yoga. She practiced medicine in Georgia, the state, not the country, and she gained notoriety in 2020 for her vaccine misinformation, specifically for her vaccine detox method of bathing in borax and baking soda. And if you're thinking, oh, that's starting to ring a bell, she's the one who started it. Like it, as far as I can tell, it was mainly her idea that bathing in borax could detox your body of the vaccine, which is a little absurd. She also helped perpetuate the hydroxychloroquine COVID-19 cure myth. Basically, people were saying that hydroxychloroquine could help cure COVID-19, even though there is no scientific evidence that it could. So today we're going to be looking into a video made by this person. It's about 10 minutes long and going over every single point she makes. I'm going to skip the beginning of the video because she just talks about like how she was a member of this like science group and how they were allegedly talking about how the vaccines were designed to control the population, but they'd be safe because they invented them and they're scientists and they're smart. Um, so I'm just gonna skip that part because it's just her giving context and you don't need that. But I did want to start with her first claim, which is about like her saying that there was apparently conductive material found in the vaccine.
This is one of the pictures of Moderna. I put 2 drops on a glass slide. I had a compound microscope, and I had a white light going up on the middle and a glass top on the very top. And it was translucent at first, and all of a sudden, colors appeared. Vibrant purples, blues, reds, greens. I'm like, I've never seen this chemical reaction. These colors, actually, when they appear under a white light, that's a sign of a superconducting material inside these injections.
So what she says here is true. Conductive material tends to turn different colors under white light. But I wonder, like, what her other evidence for it being conductive is. Like, did she test its electrical conductivity?
What that means, it's proof they are putting an injectable computing system inside every single one of these vials.
Oh, so there is no more evidence? She just said that it turned different colors under a white light, and that means it was conductive? I've had, like, organisms dyed pink in some of my microscope slides. It doesn't mean they have iron in them. And she also didn't show the photo of the alleged different colors. So she just said something, provided no evidence for it, and then carried on. Alright, man, what's your next piece of evidence?
There's little cubes on this one. I'm just showing you some of these photos. Here's another one. It's hard to see on this photo, but at the very edge is a cube-like structure.
I mean, yeah, she's right about one thing. It's really fucking hard to see it. That could literally be anything. Like, not even exaggerating, that could be literally anything. I mean, yeah, it's got like a kind of cube on it, but could be anything.
We're not quite sure exactly what that is right now.
Yeah, no shit, you don't know what it is right now. I don't know what it is right now. There's nothing to go off of. That image is terrible.
So also I saw a lot of metallic flecks, fragments.
Okay, so my first thought after seeing that isn't metal, it's detritus, like a skin cell, which put picture there. It really just looks like a skin cell. And looks like isn't good evidence. She could have like tested electrical or thermal conductivity, which pretty much every single metal is really good at. But she didn't do that. She just said, I think it's metal, which is pretty cool, Madej. Really cool.
And these metallic fragments to me look a little more exotic. It's not like your typical aluminum, etc., right?
What do you mean it looks like a more exotic metal? It doesn't look like aluminum or... What do you mean by that? Huh?
This one is strange. It's so opaque, it leaves its own shadow.
This one's almost definitely just more detritus. She really harps on it being opaque, and I don't know why. But she doesn't give like too much detail to say for sure what it is, but it's probably just more detritus. I'm thinking she like shed her scalp into the sample or something, because like I have never seen so many skin cells in a sample.
I'd have, some of these pictures are between 100 times magnification, which is nothing, to 400 up to 600 times magnification.
Okay, keep this in mind because it will come back later. Just keep in your head that these aren't magnified that much. Got it? Okay.
So this picture kind of has been going around, I think. This was on the first slide I did, and there's the cover slip, right? So everything gravitated to the very edges. That's where I saw a lot of action. There was a lot of aggregation. There was self-assembling.
So by self-assembling, I think she means a bunch of the organisms like congregated to the edges of the cover slip. But let's see what she has to say about this little guy, because he's pretty cool, and I think she's going to do him a disservice.
I also saw this thing. I was shocked. It actually was able to lift itself up off of the glass slide. You can't see it? Okay. It was able to lift itself up off of the glass slide. It had tentacles like you see here. It was able to move. It was my opinion, and this is my interpretation, that it was self-aware.
Alright, now this is where it gets really cool. That spider-like thing she just showed is called Hydra vulgaris. She talks about it later in the video more. So I'll address that then, but right now, what she said about it is insane. So Hydra vulgaris is commonly known as the freshwater polyp, or or just Hydra, and it is super cool. Its closest relatives are corals. Basically what it is a polyp. I'll put a picture there. They tend to be colonial organisms like coral, but jellyfish also look like polyps when they're juveniles, because polyps are very closely related to jellyfish. However, Hydra vulgaris is non-colonial. It's an individual organism that lives in fresh water. So she says that it also appears to have lifted the cover slip, but Hydra vulgaris can grow from 1 millimeter to 30 millimeters, which is pretty big. Too big to survive in a sample of COVID-19 vaccine. So it either wasn't in a sample of the vaccine, or like post-mortem spasms caused it to lift the slide, because it would have been impossible for it to have done it otherwise. She claims it appears to be self-aware. That's not possible. Cnidarians, the group it belongs to with like corals and jellyfish, don't have brains. They don't even have hearts. Like, they can't think, as far as we know. The only thing their nervous system can do is detect light. Like, it can't, it's not self-aware at all.
I've never encountered anything like that. I've done slides, I've done all kinds of preparation of slides, of biologic materials, etc. Never have I witnessed anything like that.
Damn, that's crazy that you've never seen it anywhere, because it can be found in like pretty much any freshwater biome. Like, if you want to find them, because they're really cool, you can go to like ponds, rivers, like slow moving streams and lakes. They're found in like grassy areas, normally on like the bottoms of rocks. But you can find them and look at them under a microscope yourself if you really want to. But it's crazy that she's never done that. Like, in all the slides she's looked at, never. God.
What is that? Still trying to figure it out, guys. But we shouldn't have unidentified objects inside of these injections.
Again, this just looks like more detritus. I'm telling you, she shed her scalp into the sample. Like, I don't know, like, she just shed her scalp into the sample. And the only reason why it would be unidentified is because she didn't conduct enough experiments on it. Like, she has the money behind it. We'll get to that later. She has money backing her, and she's just like, I don't know what it is. Like, you could have figured that out, dude.
Another, these string-like material, I'm like looking at, I'm like, this almost looks like some kind of a living organism.
Oh my god. I'm telling you, he literally, like, shed her scalp into the slide. Like, that could be a piece of hair, for all we know. I'll be right back. Look at me. I'm the conspiracy theorist now. Okay. Realistically, it's probably just like a flatworm. That's kind of what it looks like. I don't know. She doesn't give any evidence. So it could be one of her hairs. I'm convinced she shed her scalp into this, and these bits are her skin, like, flakes and her hair.
And then I see another one. And then I cried hard. You may not know what that means. I do. These are parasites that are made to meld with your nervous tissue.
So like I said previously, they don't really have a nervous system. They can't do that. And she says they're parasites. They're not parasites. They're micro carnivores. They will like sit on the bottom of a rock. Well, sit on a rock, and they'll like try and catch organisms. They'll sometimes like free float to try and catch stuff, but they're not parasites at all.
Imagine a child that's forming their neural network. I want you to feel what I feel. I want you to get that righteous anger. We need it now. No more.
So this isn't really like science related, but what she's doing right here is she's trying to appeal to them. She's trying to make herself look sympathetic, like she's the underdog. She's populist, trying to like make herself seem like she's for the people, but she's not. Like, she's just trying to get money out of these people. And it's disgusting. It's fucking disgusting what she's doing.
Guess what else it can do? The tentacles, it's called Hydra vulgaris. The tentacles have the ability to give a paralyzing, a venomous, or a toxic reaction.
So what she says here is 100% true. Hydra vulgaris uses toxins to stun its prey. However, remember, it's like at most 30 millimeters big. Like, which is, it's big in that she's saying, oh, she saw it under a microscope, but it is tiny in proportion to humans. Like, it would not affect humans. Like, it is too tiny. Its stings would not be venomous enough to affect anyone. And the reason why it has this is so it can hunt. it paralyzes its prey, so it can catch them. And if that sounds familiar, remember, they're related to jellyfish. So that's why.
Why would they want that? Well, Hydra vulgaris is actually a organism, and I don't know what that is.
Again, you could have figured it out. You could have figured it out. You have the money. I don't know why you're saying you don't know what it is. I don't know why you're showing it if you don't know what it is. Again, it could be from her scalp. It could be like a scalp parasite. She could have figured it out. She could have figured out what it was, but she didn't.
It's an organism that is immortal in the lab. It can continually renew itself. If you chop it up into tiny pieces, put it in a petri dish, it will actually self-assemble itself back over and over and over again innumerable times. It'll make itself anew. If you chop off a tentacle, 3 more will grow.
Okay, now I think you're starting to understand how it got its name. This is true. Hydra vulgaris has the ability to regenerate itself and is biologically immortal. Which is so cool. Like, that is really cool. It's not uncommon in cnidarians. It's been known to appear. Like, you might have heard of the immortal jellyfish. That's the biggest, that's the most famous one. It's also in this group, but that's really cool. What she says about this is 100% true. I'm so glad she brought it up. Let's see where she takes it, man.
So this is the edge of the cover slip. There's a lot of debris, kind of graphene-like material, and we start to see a lot of ring structures in here.
So we'll get to the ring structures in a second, but I want to talk about the graphene-like material. She doesn't provide any evidence for it being graphene at all. It doesn't even look like graphene. She could have tested its melting point, other properties, but she didn't. She just said, I think this is graphene because it helps my claim, and then provided no evidence. It's crazy. This is driving me crazy.
Now this one is with the Johnson & Johnson vial. So, again, ring-like structures, what they are is
they're bubbles. What they are is air bubbles. If you prepare a slide improperly, air bubbles will form. Like, I'll show a picture. Air bubbles will form in your slides, and they look exactly like that. She also says there's supposed to be delivery systems for the thing in the center, but they're just air bubbles. She says the thing in the center is like a group of cells. I'm assuming she's implying like cancer. Doesn't provide any evidence for it being organic matter, though. Just says they're cells. I think you're starting to notice a pattern here that she doesn't provide any evidence for her claims. Help me. Help me.
They appear to be delivery systems. So they'll start like this and they get bigger, bigger, bigger. They thin themselves out. A gelatinous material extrudes from it like a hydrogel. Okay?
To quote Raiden from Metal Gear, "That's a nice argument, Senator. Why don't you back it up with a source?" She doesn't give any evidence. She doesn't show video of it turning into any sort of gel. She just says it. I'm getting tired of this. I promise, her claims get more interesting later, but, like, I can just say she has no evidence.
A crystalline structure, little crystals. Like, literally, this is like a kitchen sink, dirty kind of experiment going on.
Or maybe you just shed your scalp into the sample. Admit it. And you know what? I'm gonna do my own pseudoscience. It looks like a kyber crystal. Pfizer's injecting us with kyber crystals to turn us all into Jedi. Where's my millions of dollars of funding? Where's my, huge stage to speak to random people? I can make baseless claims, too. Someone get me in contact with Project Veritas, man.
These are iridescent silicon-like wafers. If they pile on top of each other, they can make their own circuitry boards.
So I don't know too much about computers, but I've been told by multiple people that do know a lot about computers that that's not how computers work. I know silicon is needed in computers, but yeah, apparently that's not how computers work. Shocker! Alright, I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit because she just yaps about hydrogel, with some pretty grainy pictures. with no evidence that it's hydrogel. She didn't test its thermal stuff. Like, so I'm just gonna skip ahead. It's just mindless.
So I was very fortunate to work with Project Veritas recently.
So you heard me mention it earlier, and now she's mentioned it. Like, Project Veritas, what is that? Project Veritas is a non-profit organization that just spreads misinformation. I'm not joking. You can Google them on like Wikipedia and a bunch of other sites. They just spread misinformation on purpose, which is called disinformation. They spread disinformation. They've been sued multiple times for it. Every single time they've been like sued, they've been held liable. And they used to get a majority of their funding from the Donald J. Trump Foundation when that still existed. I'm just gonna let that sink in. The President of the United States funded an organization that intentionally spread misinformation.
So anyway, in this is a Pfizer vial. You see a lot of these dark particles. These are like graphene oxide particle material.
Sorry, I had to adjust my silly hat. Now I look like I'd drive und Panzerwagen. But she did something incredible, guys. The material she's claiming to look like graphene oxide actually looks like graphene oxide instead of some random other thing. This is the first time it's actually looked like the thing she's claiming it to look like. Unfortunately, she doesn't give any more evidence, like testing melting point, because it's relatively harmless in small amounts to melt it. Doesn't give any more evidence. She says Project Veritas would release a paper about their findings, but like I just said, they're only known for spreading disinformation, so I wouldn't trust it.
So what we were witnessing over time under the microscope was something called Tesla phoresis. Have you heard of that? So what that means is that you can put all these little tiny like beads, let's say, that have the potential to make their own wiring in the body. And what you do is you just have an external magnetic force or another kind of electric force, let's say, or frequency, and they will start to form and coalesce into a string-like spider web all by themselves.
So I've never heard of Tesla phoresis. I think she's just talking about how when you charge certain materials, they become magnetic, which is magnetism. I tried Googling like everywhere. I can't find a single thing talking about Tesla phoresis. I could be wrong. It could be a real thing. Someone please correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I couldn't find anything.
We were seeing it here inside of this vial, starting to coalesce, starting to form structures.
Man, that's really cool that you were seeing that. You got a video of it? No, I'm waiting. You got a video of it? Because it would really help your claim if you had a video of it. Too bad you don't.
It's a little bit difficult to see, but...
No, but. It's impossible to see. She goes on to claim that there's a dendrite in that footage she just showed. If you can find it, like, more power to you. I can't. So I'm just gonna say there's no dendrite. Because, oh, yeah, right, I should probably explain what that is. A dendrite is a nerve cell. They're called dendrites because they kind of look like trees. Right, yeah, I made a mistake here. Dendrites are the little tentacle things off the cell. It's just a neuron or nerve cell. Whoops. Still doesn't make her points any more valid, though. He also makes the same mistake, so I'm just gonna blame it on her.
They're literally, this is my opinion, they're trying to put another kind of nervous system inside of you, but an AI kind, or, they're hijacking this parasite to put inside of you.
So notice how she said this is her opinion? It's so she can't get sued for spreading misinformation. And her claim here is based on her other claims being true, which they're not. So I don't need to address it. I already did all the work for that.
These are my hypotheses. I encourage you to do your own research. And for the people who don't believe me under the microscope, you can get a $300 microscope and you can put the drops on there and you can look and see the pictures too, right?
She's doing this to make her claim sound better, but I assure you, if you go to any pharmacy and say, I want the COVID vaccine so I can put it under my microscope, they're gonna say no, because they don't know if that's what you're gonna do. I have a microscope. I can, like, a pretty cheap one, just like hers. I can just go to the stream, find the same exact stuff she did. And Miss Madej, I don't need a microscope to prove you wrong. I've been doing all of this without a microscope. Like, I don't even need to spend $300. I can debunk you for free, dude.
So this is another organism. We see this over and over. This would be like a polypodium or a Hydra vulgaris organism.
So this is just word salad. Like, Hydra vulgaris, yeah, like, she's claimed it's in it before. But polypodiums are ferns. What the fuck is a fern gonna do? Why the fuck would they put a fern in a vaccine?
This is very similar to some ectoderm of a parasite. I mean, we could go on and on.
You know, please, go on and on, because what do you mean, an ectoderm of a parasite? Like, the ectoderm is part of your skin. There's no group of organisms called an ectoderm. But some parasites that target your ectoderm are like flatworms, which that appears to be a flatworm. So she might have meant it's a parasite that attacks your ectoderm, but ticks also do. Like, there's no such thing as an ectoderm type parasite. She's just saying this to sound smart. Actually, wait. This is more evidence for my theory. Ectoderms, like parasites that target the ectoderm, target your skin. What's on your scalp? Skin. What has she found in the samples? Skin. She shed her scalp into it, man. I know it. This is more evidence for it.
Parasite after parasite looking, and let me back up. They appear to be parasites, right?
She's just doing this to avoid getting sued, man. Like, they appear to be parasites. No, you've been claiming the entire time that these are parasites. Your entire audience is going home thinking that there are parasites in the vaccine. You can't just save your skin by saying, oh, well, they appear to be parasites. I don't know if they are.
If it looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, walks like a duck, it probably is, right?
Just because it looks like something doesn't mean it is that thing. Give me 1 second, I'll be right back. Okay, so this looks like a license plate. If I put this on the back of my car, I'm pretty sure I'd get arrested. This, his name is Yorick, by the way. Yorick looks like a human skull. I would not trust Yorick to protect my brain. And then there are examples of hoverflies, which look like bees. Hoverflies aren't bees, though. Like, it's ridiculous to say, well, it looks like this, so it must be that. Like, that's ridiculous.
Again, more ring-like structures.
Like, I've already discussed how these are, air bubbles, but I'm so TikTok-brained that I thought these were, like, added in post, so I was looking in the damn circles, like, oh, what's in the circle? Nothing. It's just the circles.
How is this in the betterment of humanity? Is this why ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine are so banned from everybody?
So I should probably address, like, what hydroxychloroquine is. It's a treatment for malaria that kills parasites, as far as I understand. So she's saying, oh, it's so banned that, because it'll kill all the parasites in the vaccine. No. It's because it's not useful against COVID. Because COVID is a virus, not a parasite. Hydroxychloroquine kills parasites, not viruses.
Right? Now we know. I want you to see this guy. This guy is another organism that we saw. This was in a Johnson & Johnson vial. Watch closely the translucent thing that moves around the edge of the ring. Do you see that? At first I thought it was another, let me back up and do that again so you can see.
You can't make this up. She starts having technical difficulties with a fucking PowerPoint presentation. I can't even, man. You can't make this up. But she goes on to say that orb is an organism. It's just another one of the air bubbles. The reason why it's moving is because it's not attached to anything else.
And I think you don't have to have a science degree. You don't have to have a medical degree to.
So I kind of agree with her here. Too many people get like hung up on whether or not you have a degree. Like some people will treat it like must be this tall to ride, must have a master's degree in this to be in a conversation. But I think that if you're knowledgeable enough, you can contribute to it. Like me, for example, I don't have any degrees. She had a doctorate, and I am kicking her ass at this. So yeah, I don't think you need a degree to be able to contribute to this. But let's see where she takes it.
That should not be in any human body injected into our children, our babies, and us.
So she doesn't take it anywhere. She makes one last appeal to the audience and just tries to make them sympathetic with her. Although I agree that you don't need a medical degree, you don't need a biology degree to discuss topics like this, I do think you should be knowledgeable, and I think you should be able to conduct science properly. Miss Madej did not conduct science properly. She didn't conduct enough experiments for her findings. She didn't provide any evidence for her claims. This is not science. This is baseless claims, and she's harming people. It's terrible that people like her get a platform. So after that, you're probably thinking, why make a video on that? Like, she very clearly doesn't know what she's doing, and she's just making ridiculous claims. And the reason why I'm making this video is because I was sent that video by someone I care about, someone that believed what she was saying. If you think, oh, it's easy to discount what she's saying, then you're a lot smarter than you think. Some people can't tell that she's just straight up lying to them. I can tell that she knows what she's talking about because she says some really like cool things about Nidarians, but intentionally omits basic information about the group. She is intentionally misleading these people, and that's why I'm making this video, because someone I care about fell for her, and she's not the only person that did. Like, sorry, I took off the tinfoil hat because it's time to get serious. The reason why I've been calling her Miss Madej, I've been pronouncing it wrong, this entire video instead of Dr. Madej is because she gave up her medical license. And the reason why she gave up her medical license is because she led to the death of someone. Now, I'm not going to get into the details here because there are people, specifically one person who did a way better job of it. His name is Ethan Suto. He's the grandson of the man that Madej murdered. And he'll do a way better job of explaining it than I will. I'll link to his channel in the description. He has tons of videos on it. It's the only reason why he created his channel. But yeah, she led to the death of a man. And it's ridiculous that she's still allowed to have a platform, because she still has a platform, even after all of this. Now, as far as I can tell, she claims all of this is libel and untrue. Like, she claims she's never been in court. And the reason why she claims that is because it's true. As far as I can tell, she did not answer her summons once. Every time she has been sued, she did not show up. Which is fucking ridiculous. She led to the death of another person, and she doesn't even have the dignity to show up in court. I'm speechless. Yeah. And if you followed her, I really don't think you're stupid. She can be very convincing. She appeals to the everyman all the time. So I don't think you're stupid if you listen to her. It takes a lot of knowledge to like debunk what she's saying. And Yeah, but go look at Ethan's video. It's fantastic. I don't know how to end this. Just please, if you listen to her, and you're still on the fence after listening to me, listen to Ethan. He'll convince you. Trust me.